Hello and welcome in, everyone. Good evening. It's been a while since I've done a live stream, so I'm happy to be here. Very blessed, very blessed. If you're in the house, let me know. Please comment. I'm going to read your comments. We're going to have a bit of a Q&A session, and I also want to present a topic to you, sort of a refresher, but I think will really help you on your existing financial journey, especially if you're someone that's been watching for years at this point. Shout out to you. If you're a long-time follower, client of this channel, let me know that in the comment section. Please do so. And those of you that are brand new, welcome. My name is Denzel Rodriguez, your personal finance geek of the 21st century. And this evening, we're going to be discussing how you can increase your velocity of money. This is a topic, a strategy that often doesn't get spoken about, but in this particular community, in the velocity community, in the accelerated community where we discuss unique financial strategies that have helped people for decades accelerate their debt, increase their cash flow, build their credit, give them access to capital at a faster rate, and be able to leverage that capital for future cash flow accumulation, maximize efficiency with their money, and ultimately become very good stewards over their money as a borrower and a lender. We often put the position of a borrower at a negative, and it makes sense because for the most part, people who borrow have not been taught how to borrow. Many of us are thrown into that position through force, through influence, and through unfortunate financial circumstances. Pick your name, right? Pick your topic, anyone. Very few financial educators and teachers ever explore the question of how does one become an effective borrower in a society where borrowing is a critical function of our society, of our government. Borrowing is a part of life. Should it be your whole life? No. Because the result of borrowing for your entire life is what Scripture warns us of, that you essentially become a slave. The word slave in the context of that particular scripture is more of an indentured servant to someone else, not literal slave or slavery, although there are plenty of examples of that dating thousands of years back. I believe the context of that scripture, of the borrower is or will become slave to the lender, is essentially a covenant, a contract between the borrower and the lender, where the borrower is technically at the mercy and judgment of the lender. The lender has more leverage, more authority, more control, more influence, more power over the borrower. And that has translated into society today, as you can imagine. Many of you who are in debt today probably feel a version, we go as far as saying the word slave, not with physical chains, but mental chains, mental bondage, spiritual bondage that many of you are experiencing when it comes to your money. So therefore, you scour the internet and you've approached a place in your life where you've had enough. And it's gotten so bad in your life when it comes to your finances that you decided to go on YouTube. You decided to go to the internet where there are tons and tons of scams, of misinformation, bad information, wrong information, out of context, misrepresentation, out of compliance, you name it. And you've scoured and you've scoured and you've hunted, and many of you have experienced scams in the past on the internet, yet you still have this hope, which I want to commend you for, that you're going to figure this out, and you will. And many of us experience these unfortunate events, these unfortunate circumstances where we get taken advantage of, we get manipulated, we get deceived. Fortunately, this happens day in and day out. This YouTube channel in particular is a clinic and it is a refuge. This is a safe place where you will not be judged. You will not be name called. You will be challenged. You will be held accountable for your decisions. Though they may have been wrong, you're still going to be held accountable on this YouTube channel. And this is a safe place for you to ask questions. No question is a dumb question. I will do my very best and continue to do my very best to improve the way that I communicate to every single one of you on this YouTube channel, so that you feel like you are being served at the highest level. That's what I want you to feel every time you turn the TV on. 30% of you that watch this YouTube channel are doing so from a TV. So shout out to you that are planted. You're sitting on the couch, or maybe you're making dinner right now, and you are dialed in. You've got your notepad. You're like, every time I come to this YouTube channel, I gotta bring my notes. I gotta have my numbers ready. That is the format of this channel and how I post videos. Is you will always feel like you need a notepad nearby. You always feel like you need to have your notes, your numbers ready to go, ready to learn, ready to improve, ready to get better. No matter where you are at in life, I want to let you know that it is possible for you to overcome whatever it is that you are facing. It is possible. Very possible. We just have to have the will, the courage for us to continue to press forward despite whatever our circumstances may be. So again, this is a safe place for you to learn. Ask any questions that you want. This entire week, I am going to be live. Take full advantage of that time that I'm giving to you. Set time aside, be present, come with your questions, ready to go. We're going to have some fun. I'm going to set the theme of this week on ways, multiple ways that you can increase your velocity of money. Wherever you're at. Doesn't matter where you are at. I'm going to meet you where you're at. I'm going to share with you scenarios. I'm going to share with you the general frameworks on how you can operate. And my goal is to help you increase your velocity money. What does that look like? What does that mean? That means the vast majority of you operate this way. Let's take it to the whiteboard. The vast majority of people operate this way right here in the center of the board. You receive income some way, W-2, through a business, 1099. When that money comes in, it lands into a checking account. Before you even witness the fullness of your labor, the financial gravitational pull of bills, expenses, debts, everything begins to seep, drain out of that checking account immediately, before you can even think about saving, before you can even think about investing, before you can even think about giving or tithing. Money is being drained immediately The minute you make that W-2 paycheck, hits on Friday, hits on Thursday, hits on Monday, whatever it is. First of the month, last of the month, you name it. Bam. Hits, you see it, bam. It's already less than what you initially got. Because the financial gravitational pull, somebody type that in the comments. Financial gravitational pull is draining your money immediately due to bills and debts. So money leaves your checking. And once all your bills and debts are paid at the end of the month, whatever is left at the end of the month, if any at all, you have to decide, do I save this money? Do I invest this money? Do I give it? What's happening is those questions are the last thing that's happening in your financial flow. You're giving last, you're investing in yourself last, you're saving money last. This has got to stop. How do we stop gravity? Financial gravity. How do we stop that? We have to spend the time, whether it's reading the books and watching videos like this, to get around wealthy people and figure out how they operate. 3 steps I'm going to introduce to you today. And this is what I've been talking about the last 7 years. And I'm just going to keep wording it differently and putting a spin on it, because one day the light bulb will go off. When it does, I'm not sure which video it will be or if it will even be mine. My job is to continue to produce material for you to learn different ways so that it may hit. And when it does, I can't wait to have a conversation with you, because it's going to be so much fun. Whenever I do my case studies, I always say you got to know your numbers. So step 1, to increase your velocity of money, you have to know where you stand financially. I cannot do that for you. Nobody can really do it for you 100% hands off. You're gonna have to take some accountability and responsibility for this. For the last 7 years now, I've been helping moms do this. Single moms, divorced moms, widows, married moms, moms in general, across the United States, all walks of life, all different demographic groups. Been helping them master their personal finances, getting them to know their numbers, just to spend time on it. 30 to 60 minutes a week, every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks, minimum a month. 60 minutes a month is like minimum. Preferably, I want you to spend about 30 to 60 minutes per week just analyzing and tracking your finances. It truly does not take a whole lot of time. Once you get in the rhythm of it and you figure out a system, it just gets easier and easier. The 4 major numbers of life when it comes to finances: how much money you're bringing in, how much you're spending, what's your total debt if you have any, what is that cash flow. The amount of money that does not have a purpose yet is cash flow. And cash flow is what we use to increase our wealth. Cash flow is what we use to multiply our wealth. Cash flow is what we use to save, invest, give at the highest level, acquire assets that finance our expenses so that our personal ability to produce work, labor, does not become a requirement for life. That is the game of money. We're trying to create enough cash flow so that one day, someday, you do not have to be in a position where you have to work for someone or something. We are working smart and efficiently and hard. I like to work smart and I like to work hard. I enjoy it. When you discover your purpose, I've never met somebody that discovered their purpose and wanted to do less of their purpose. But I have met tons of people that are not working in their purpose and want to do less of that because it's not their purpose. It's not what they were put on this earth to do. It's not what they were designed to do. So being able to create enough income to put into the cash flow category, to save, invest, and give that money to the point where you no longer have to work, you get to work, you want to work. It's a joy to work. And we're trying to do that in as little time as humanly possible. In the last 7 years, I've been able to witness people achieve this. And it's amazing. People at the age of 60, 65, even 70, and younger folks in their 30s and 40s. In the last 7 years that I've been working with them, they've been able to experience debt freedom. Let's say that's like the biggest one. Most people that I've been working with that long, between 5 and 7 years, have been able to experience debt freedom, fully debt leveraged, meaning they paid off everything they wanted to pay off, and the debts that they did not want to pay off, like a mortgage that was at a super low rate, they're servicing that debt. It has no impact to their finances whatsoever. And now they're leveraging debt to their full capacity to acquire more assets that create more cash flow. So their interest cost of borrowing is completely offset by the cash flow production. And they're in a place of financial independence and, in some, financial freedom. Amazing stuff. So step one, you got to know your numbers. And there's a part 2 to step 1. In order for you to truly know your numbers and to have the accountability and to continue with it and create these habits, you have to invest in yourself. Number one way to invest in yourself is personal development. The most efficient way to invest in yourself, most efficient way to invest in yourself from a financial perspective, meaning the cheapest way, are books. Okay? Books. Read books. The most famous book in the world is the Bible. That's a great place to start. As it pertains to finances, relevant to the 21st century, a little more engaged, we can combine the Bible plus some great books that we can get a hold of. Here's one right here, Own Your Home Years Sooner, Retire Debt Free by Harsh Gill. Great book. Why 10x is Easier Than 2x by Dan Sullivan, Dr. Benjamin Hardy. Phenomenal book. Alex Hormozi, $100 million Models, How to Make Money. Solid book. Retirement Alpha, How Mortality Credits Improve Retirement Outcomes by Tom Hegna. Solid books. And I have plenty more. There's a great book called Permission to Spend. There's another awesome book called The And Asset. I mean, I can go on and on and on books. But it is the most efficient way to invest in yourself through personal development is books and or watching content just like this. That's very, very free. We don't want to stop there. Many of you are watching videos on YouTube and other platforms for free, but you're still stuck because you haven't invested in yourself financially. The biggest gap of success that I see between those who watch videos and never do anything outside of watching videos compared to those who watch videos plus they purchase something. They make an investment in themselves. They purchase a book. They purchase a course. They purchase a consultation. They engage in coaching. Those people experience success at a much faster rate than those who just sit on the sidelines and just watch videos. That means you're just here for entertainment. You're just here to be inspired, motivated. We don't actually ever get off the couch because motivation is not enough. Inspiration is not enough. It really isn't. It's faith plus works. You have to believe, have faith, and then you got to get up off the couch and do the dang work that's involved. And you don't need to know how. You just need to find your who. It's another phenomenal book called Who, Not How. Let's continue. After you lock in on step one, everything else will just fall into line so beautiful, it's amazing. Step two is debt. For the last 7 years on this YouTube channel, we have spent a ton of time talking about all of the different ways that you can pay off, accelerate, or leverage debt in your favor. There's a famous drawing I did years back that went viral, and I kept with it. I look back and I'm like, how did I come up with that idea? And I always give credit to Holy Spirit, the Father, God the Father. Just gave me this idea, drew a triangle, and then boom. People were like, I get it. Versus many of my other case studies that take a while for people to get. But this picture right here is how the wealthy operate in terms of cash flow and efficiency. Now this triangle that I've illustrated in the past will explain an actual financial strategy called velocity. Velocity banking, accelerated banking, paycheck parking. It's got a couple different names for it. Mortgage acceleration, debt acceleration. Give it whatever term you want. The way that I'm going to explain it in this context is literally how wealthy people have their accounts set up, how they have their money set up, how they move money and how they flow it. So unlike most people, when wealthy people make money, it also lands into some form of a checking account. So it lands right here in a checking account. Before they pay a single bill or debt, they immediately save first. They profit first. They invest first. They give first. These things come first on their list. So they actually move money out of the checking account into wealth accounts. Wealth accounts can be a whole laundry list of accounts that we can go through. We won't do that right now, so I'm just summarizing as wealth accounts. These wealth accounts capture the cash flow, captures the cash flow before it gets spent. So it flips it, where most people make money, spend, then save, invest, and give later. Wealthy people make money, give, save, invest first. Then what they do with their wealth accounts, in some cases, their wealth accounts pay for their lifestyle, their bills and expenses, their operational costs. So a wealth account could be a business checking account, and the business operational account pays all the expenses of the business. And then because you paid those expenses produced more income. So the way wealthy people operate is they have bills and expenses that are catered to actually producing more dollars that land right back in their checking account. And before they pay a bill or an expense, they're sending more money to the wealth accounts. And then the wealth accounts are again paying for the bills and the debts and the expenses and their lifestyle operational costs. They do this in a roundabout way. So instead of money falling due to gravitational pull, financial gravity, they've created a river flow. They've created a flow of money where the gravitational pull is in the center. And the center they control. This is their world. This is their world. So just like our Earth has the gravitational pull in the center of the Earth, That's how they set up their financial foundation, where the foundation of their finances is pulling in the gravity. So before money leaves their economy, a single dollar might rotate anywhere from 2 to 7 times before it falls out of the system due to any kind of inefficiency. And whenever an inefficiency is discovered by a wealthy person, they do everything in their power to bring it right back into the flow. And what ends up happening is their their gravitational pull gets bigger, it gets bigger, it gets bigger, and eventually takes up this whole whiteboard and goes off. Let me know in the comments if that makes sense or if I just completely lost you. And if I completely lost you, that's okay. It's going to take multiple listens for something like this to set in, which is why many of us stay stuck here, because we don't have three things. Three things. Three things you need to comprehend this. You need patience. You need discipline. And time. Many of you think you don't have time. Many of you think you don't have discipline. Many of you think you don't have patience. You actually do. It's just in the wrong place. So every one of us have 24 hours in a day. So that is what's called equal playing field. We all have 24 hours in a day. But the way I use my 24 hours is vastly different from the way most people use their 24 hours. So we all have 24 hours in a day. It's just a matter of how are you using that time. Many of most people are wasting time, just like they waste their money due to financial gravitational pull. There also is a version of this where you can put time, right? Like everyone has 24 hours in a day, and then there's a work. So that takes time. And then when you get home, there's chores, there's things to do. And then you're left with God time, family time, personal development time comes last. So I could take this whole illustration I gave and use time as my equation, and I could draw this triangle again and do a triangle for time. And I can say wealthy people have 24 hours in a day, goes into their time bank. Before they spend their time on anything, anyone, they put their time into wealth accounts. And their wealth accounts produces more time for them. So their wealth accounts, that represents time, is an investment. So they put their time in time, right? Which then time, X time, multiplies time, which then they're able to use time to spend time to get back time, more time than they spent. So it's times, times time, times time, you create a wealth flow. It's amazing. Discipline. I talk to a lot of families that think they don't have discipline when it comes to money, and I constantly remind them that they actually have a ton of discipline. It's just pointed in the wrong direction. What do you mean by that, Denzel? Well, I say, Mom, I say, Dad, you're very disciplined at avoiding spending time on your money versus Denzel, I'm very disciplined with spending time on my money. The only difference is direction, velocity, speed. Final thing is patience. Patience, time, discipline. Many of you think you're not patient. You think you can't sit through a 30-minute, 1-hour video. Yet you're willing to sit 3 hours to watch a Marvel movie with your family. You're willing to sit 3 hours in front of the television, 2-3 hours in front of the television and be entertained. You're willing to spend 2, 3, 4 hours scrolling through social media and just looking at brain rotting type of content or satisfying content. So therefore, you do have patience to be entertained, to spend hours and hours of time with people that are not developing you to become better individuals. So you're very patient in that regard. So it's not that you lack patience or you lack discipline or you lack time. You have all those things, they're just being pointed in the wrong direction. And the moment you realize that you have to invest in yourself to personally develop, to redirect time, discipline, and patience, you will have the most amazing breakthrough in your life, regardless of your age. From there, we talk about debt. That's where we get into the strategies. And I'm going to share with you some strategies. And then step 3 is maximize efficiency. Okay. So on this YouTube channel, we have covered every single debt elimination strategy that exists in the United States. We have debt snowball. We have debt avalanche. We have velocity banking. We have infinite banking. We have cash flow index. And then we have make more money. Make more money strategies. There's only 2 ways to get out of debt: increase income, top line, or decrease obligations, reduce expenses. The gap that gets created is cash flow. The cash flow is what pays off your debt. Cash flow is what allows you to save, invest, and give. With me so far, we got 30 plus people in the house. Let me know, how are you feeling so far in the comments? Let me get some feedback. This is the framework. And I've shared this framework multiple times throughout the channel, but I'm going to keep doing it over and over and over again. I'm just going to keep illustrating it in different ways over and over again until it sinks in. I'm going to give you like 10 seconds, whether it's to take a screenshot of the board, or you can always pause the video as well, then continue on. But I am now going to delete. I'm going to erase this, and I'm going to share with you step 3, some examples of ways that I am maximizing efficiency, how I'm increasing my efficiency to avoid the gravitational pull of money, expenses, debts, etc., and how I am always continuing to improve. So even when I do step 1, 2, and 3, I actually rinse and repeat. I'll do it again. Figure out, okay, what's the next thing that I can invest in myself to personally develop? I evaluate my debts. Step 3, I continue to maximize efficiency. I continue to put my time, discipline, and patience more and more and more toward the things that ultimately fulfill my purpose in life, to produce joy, peace, alignment with the Lord, and service at the highest level. Kingdom service at the highest level. Beautiful? Beautiful. So let me share with you, this is a fun one. This has been a 7, actually, yeah, about a 7-year plus financial strategy This doesn't occur overnight, but man, it's infinite in its growth, and it just keeps getting better and better the more strategic you get with it, the more discipline you get with it, the more education, the more wisdom that you build with it. So this takes time. You start small, in my opinion, and you build from there. So this gets summed up on the internet as credit card hacking. So that's the topic or strategy. Credit card hacking, point hacking, all that good stuff. So it also gets summarized as travel hacking. Me personally, I call it lifestyle hacking. Lifestyle hacking according to how you actually operate with your expenses. How do we minimize your cost to live your life by leveraging credit cards? There are so many different types of credit cards in the marketplace today. There are trillions of dollars of credit out there. And I think we as a country are 2 point something trillion or more in credit card debt. I don't know how much of that debt is being leveraged, so I can imagine a small percentage of that is made up of these people who are credit card hackers, travel hackers, lifestyle hackers like myself that have mastered credit cards, where the premise of this is to pay zero interest costs. That's the premise. Pay zero interest costs. You want to offset expenses. And you increase rewards. So let me give you an example. I have 3 credit cards here, right? And I probably shouldn't show you these because it has like my stuff on it. But we have an Amex card, American Express. These two don't have my credit card information on the front of it. So we'll do personal and business. So I got personal, go like this. This is an Amex card, and it's 0 annual fees. Okay. Then we have a Hilton Honors card. Annual fee $5.95 if I'm not mistaken. That's on the personal side. I have 2 main credit cards that I use to run the majority of my personal expenses. Any and all bills that I can use to finance expenses, the majority will land on these 2 cards. So there's a Hilton card, which has 0 annual fees. My wife has this card as well. What we do is a point strategy, and it mainly The result: offsets expenses, increases rewards. What are those rewards? Within the personal strategy, mainly, I am completely offsetting hotel stays. As an entrepreneur, business owner, I consistently will travel throughout the year, maybe 2 to 3 times per year out of the state of Florida for some sort of speaking engagement or a business event, roughly 2 to 3 times a year. Then I personally will travel with my wife or family or friends a good 5 to 7 times a year, let's say, either out of state of where I live or within the state. And what that pretty much results in is about 30 or more hotel nights. In hotel nights alone, over a 30-day plus or more period, in terms of paying cash for hotels, could be about 10,000 or more. So we're talking about a cost of living, a lifestyle expense that roughly costs about $10,000 or more per year. Easy in my household. So there's a $10,000 or more expense on the line there alone. On top of running bills through a credit card, in terms of lifestyle hacking, we can also look at expense hacking. So on average, I will save anywhere from 10 to 20% off the bill itself when I pay annual. So when I pay my bills annually on my personal side, I'm rewarded by giving that company the full bill, paying the full bill in advance. The company rewards me with a 10% discount, with a 20% discount. Then there's a double reward, which is the points. So the points will pay for the hotel nights. So it's a double effect. 10 to 20% per year in savings on my personal expenses. We're talking another $10,000 or more per year from paying bills monthly, switching them to annually. The reason why I'm able to pay those bills annually is because I'm using debt first. And then what happens is I pay myself back. So I'm giving myself time to pay myself back to avoid the interest costs. In some cases, in addition to other credit cards that I have at my disposal, I can leverage 0% credit cards on purchases and maybe balance transfers. So let's say there's a bill that might be a little larger than I would hope for. I can run it on a 0% card over here, let's say, pay the monthly minimum, then use my excess cash flow to eventually pay that back once I've accumulated it, as opposed to paying cash first for the item. So I'm very much in a place where I'm often using credit to pay for as many things as I can. and getting a dual reward, paying zero cost. That's the key. This cannot cost me anything. Well, then you wonder, well, Denzel, you got that annual fee there of $595. Yes, but I offset it. So when I get $595 annual fee for this Hilton Honors card that Amex offers, I'm getting $200 to $400, I think, in credit every single year. Plus, I get 2 free nights every single year in a hotel, which makes up for the $595 easily. Then the point conversion per dollar can be as high as 12x. So whenever I spend $1 on this card for certain things, $1 may get me 12 points. That's insane. So what's happening is I'm now increasing these points. That's financing travel. So I'm travel hacking, I'm expense hacking, I'm lifestyle hacking. I have certain expenses that I'm able to maximize the reward off of these credit cards, these specific credit cards. And so when I'm working with folks, I'll figure out which credit cards work best based on how they're operating, based on how they use things. The theme of this strategy, preferably, I want you to be in this mindset mode of create more than you consume. Create more than you consume. Let's look at the business side. It gets even better on the business side. It gets insane. Starts to get out of hand. Okay. The business side, we've got 2 Amex Biz cards. We've got Amex Biz credit card, Business Plus, and then there's Amex Biz Hilton. Also has an annual fee. Actually, I don't know if it does or not. I gotta look. I want to say it's $95. Got 2 credit cards, right? Just so you know. I gotta take that one off because it shows the card info. So we got Amex for the business, 2 of them, which produces more points. So we got points on the personal, points on the business. So whenever I travel business, whenever I travel personal, I'm able to offset that expense, which means if I'm saving on average $20K or more, what can I do with that $20K? Because that $20,000 or more every single year that I'm saving is cash flow that can now go somewhere. So remember the flow. I have wealth accounts. I consider my credit cards wealth accounts as well because it produces me tax-free benefits. That's a wealth account in my opinion, and I've been doing it now for 7+ years. The amount of points I've accumulated in just 7 years is insane, my friend. So we're talking, and the savings continues to increase the more I run on these cards over time. And those of you that are married, you're able to get your spouse on board and they can have the same cards. So you get double the effect. So it's like if this card has a promotion, you run expenses on there, and then your wife, let's say, has the same card. You were going to spend the same amount of money anyways. Now you're just splitting it between 2 cards to double the rewards, to double the benefits. Now it becomes a game. Now you're playing a game. The game is fun. You're supposed to have fun when you play games. This is a money game. But it requires what? Patience, discipline, and time. This is 7 years in the making that I'm now sharing this with you, and what the results have been. So not only did I save $20+ thousand per year. That's not unrealized savings. That's actual realized savings per year. So then I take that 20,000, instead of spending it, for example, this is where people mess themselves up when they travel hack, is they're like, oh, since I'm saving 20,000, now we can get the 5-star hotel and spend, 20,000. No, no, no. That's not what I do. I maintain the same way that I was traveling as if I was using cash. I'm going to travel the same way. I'm now going to realize the savings in that year. I'm going to realize those savings. And I'm going to take that 20 grand and put it in the save, invest, and give pile. So let me share with you the final framework. We'll create some space here. We'll go like this for now. We're going to move these cards. You get the idea. We'll put these up here for now. And I want to illustrate it like this. So we'll go like this. This is the final layer. This is a crypto strategy. Let me share with you this card right here. This is with a crypto exchange called crypto.com. I'll drop a link in the chat for you to check this out for yourself. It's a referral link, so if you take advantage of it, there are rewards for both you and myself, which ends up being quite advantageous. So let me just throw that in the chat. Let's go like this. Go boom, like that. Bam, put that on the screen there for now. So this $20,000 in cash that I'm saving, what I've been doing since COVID, halfway towards the end of 2020 and going into 2021 and onward, I'll take this savings and I push it over into crypto. And what I've done over the years is I've purchased cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, and then a native currency called CRO on the crypto platform. So what's happened is crypto.com launched a crypto card a couple years back. This card right here cost $50,000 worth of CRO, their native cryptocurrency on their platform. Costs $50,000 today, give or take. So it has to be 50,000 USD worth of their token. So you got to convert your dollars into CRO. So what I would do month over month, year over year, just from saving money through credit card hacking, lifestyle hacking, travel hacking. I got the benefit of traveling. I got the benefit of saving money. And then those specific dollars that I was saving was being poured into the crypto strategy. And from there, I was converting the cash into an asset, another type of wealth account. And from there, the term is called staking. So I would stake these currencies on their exchange, and I'm earning interest on savings dollars. So this is an example of $1 flowing through my economy and getting multiple uses. So the first dollar was using debt. That dollar, say, saved me 10 to 20%. So now I'm only spending 80 cents on the dollar. And the 20 cents that I didn't spend, I saved, purchased an asset with, held the asset for years, did not partake in immediate gratification, took the 20 cents, continued to earn more interest now on tax-free dollars that I earned, saved, all while maintaining the same lifestyles that I have. Then what happened is once I purchased enough CRO, $50,000 worth. Now what actually happened in the time frame is the CRO token was about 6 cents to 10 cents a share. About 6 to 10 cents a share or of the CRO token. So what happened? Around, I want to say, I think it was 2022, I'm over here accumulating this currency at around 6 to 10 cents about, and I kind of peaked out about 15 cents a token using savings dollars, by the way. And the currency had increased to as high as 93 cents per token. So what ended up happening was I'm staking the CRO, earning interest on interest. Meanwhile, the actual asset, the cryptocurrency, CRO, is growing in value. And it was growing and growing and growing and growing. It went all the way up to this 93 cent mark, almost $1 from what I remember, which then made my holdings worth $50,000. So then what I went ahead and did is I restaked all of those CROs to get this card that was worth 50,000, or at the time it was actually 40,000. Today they increased it. Now it's 50,000. A couple years ago it was $40,000. So it increased to $40,000. I get the card, and then the CRO, like I want to say 6 months later or so, it tanks. It went all the way back down to about 6 to 8 cents. But I still kept the card. They gave me the card. Now, there are some benefits to owning that card. I was getting a guaranteed 7% return on the staking for the last 4 years now. 7%. Plus, I was getting 100%, and this is a debit card, by the way, it's not a credit card. I'm getting 100% reimbursement on 2 expenses: Spotify and Amazon Prime. So I pulled 2 expenses from personal Amex because the reward was greater over here. So all I needed to do was fund cash into this debit card of $15 or so, for the Spotify, and then Amazon also like 15 bucks a month, and get a 100% reimbursement in the form of CRO. So I put money on the card, I spend it on an expense that I was going to spend anyway, I get 100% rebate, I then take their currency, stake it, and earn. Now, throughout the years, 2020, 2021, I'm earning 7%. In some cases, I was earning between 15 and 20% return on that CRO. Today, in 2025, this specific currency is floating at around 25 cents. So here I am with a bunch of CRO earning right now. I earn 15%, I earn 20%, and I earn 7%. 7% on the $50,000 worth, 15 to 20% on additional CRO that I've purchased over time because I keep saving money with my lifestyle. I keep hacking my lifestyle. And I take the actual savings, I realize those savings in the form of cash. I then push it over into crypto and I use their tools to get even more rewards on top of rewards on top of rewards on top of savings. And then to put the final nail on it all, I recently got this in the mail. This is pretty cool. So crypto.com, they just launched a crypto credit card. So I got approved for $10,200. So I applied for a credit card. It cost me nothing. They send me this beautiful gift box. Crypto.com, nice cool box. Boom. And we have this super cool crypto Visa credit card, which comes with more rewards on top of the rewards I'm already getting with this card. Now I have to do a comparison because I don't know if I run Spotify and Amazon on this credit card, I don't know if I get 100% rebate. So I'm gonna have to look at it internally. But hey, it's like an additional wealth account, a wealth tool that I've been able to, acquire over the years. And that's not bad at all. It's really cool. So we got this super cool. They're like, here you go. It's my pleasure to present you with the Crypto.com Visa Signature Credit Card. The founder and CEO of Crypto.com. Thank you for joining us on this journey. So for me as a customer, I'm like, okay, wow, they went out of their way to build this whole, really cool gift for a credit card. It didn't cost me anything. This is costing them money to put this whole box together to pretty much promote this. No complaints on my end. Point is, behind all of this, is to share with you the possibilities of it all. The possibilities of what you can do. You can play with this. Okay? All of this, by the way, has risk. So let's not deny that there are some risk in this. Denzel, what are the risks? Well, I'm at the mercy of American Express. If they want to take away my credit cards, they totally could. Why would they? I'm a tier 1 borrower. So I've learned how to borrow efficiently over time where I no longer view myself as a quote unquote slave, as a borrower. I managed to make strong relationships with the lenders. The lenders provide incentives to the borrowers. As an educated borrower or customer, I'm going to fully maximize all of the incentives that the lenders are offering me. Fully. Yet, I do not rely on the lenders. So this whole entire strategy, I have no problem doing this to my strategy. I have no problem doing this right here. What am I doing? I'm erasing my entire strategy. At any point in time, I have no problem cutting off American Express, cutting off crypto.com. I am not married to those institutions. I am friendly. I'm an ally to those institutions. I'm a borrower to these institutions, but I'm not married to them. I'm only married to my wife, period. So what that simply means is I remain independent, a free agent. I will leverage all of the incentives of these institutions. Okay? I will leverage these institutions. I will receive all of the rewards that are involved with this. But my mentality is remain independent. Do not become dependent. Do not become dependent on these tools. For these tools may go away, they may change, they might change their rules. For example, remember how I told you earlier, this card right here costs 50 grand. Like, you're not going to convince me. I would not convince any of you watching to try and get this card, make an investment toward this card. I would not make that argument for this card, even though I have it and I enjoy this card and I like it a lot. But I'm not going to convince any one of my clients or my audience that you should go get this card. No way. Why would I do that? If you want to go do it, great. That's fine. I'm telling you, I did not spend $50,000 to get this card. Technically, my price was $40,000, but I'm telling you, I didn't spend $40,000 on this card. What? Because I got in early, and that's what happens when you do step 1, 2, and 3. Opportunities present themselves, and then you get exclusivity. So what happened is I received exclusivity. Again, I was purchasing between 6 cents, 10 cents, topping off at about 15 cents per CRO native cryptocurrency on the crypto.com exchange. And then it increased to 90, almost 94 cents. 93 cents is what I remember, 93, 94 cents. So what I was holding increased to a value of $40,000. And then all I did was restake it to get the card. Now I've been getting a guaranteed 7% return on my money since 2022 all the way to 2025 today, and it just keeps paying out. Every single week I earn 7% on my CRO. Okay? I can look at the exact number right now to see what that is. Let's see what that is. So it's 53,890. So 53,890 times 7% divided by 52. So I'm getting about 72 CROs weekly just from those holdings for this card. 72 CROs times 25 cents is about $18 weekly times 52 is $936 annually. So at that price, to hold $50,000 worth of CRO, in my case 40,000, today that's not worth 40,000. So what is 53,890 times 0.25 cents is only worth about $13,000. So 53,890 CRO is only worth 13,472 and 50 cents at 25 cents. But 53,890 at, I don't know, 40 cents? Nope, that's only 21,000. So 53,890 times 80 cents is 43,000. So right when it got to around 70 to 80 cents is when it was valued at 40,000. Today, you would need, say, that 53,890, and you would have to have like 80, 90, almost $1 worth to have $50,000 worth of CRO, basically. So first you would have to accumulate that, and then what is the reward? Today they increased it to 8.5%. So 8.5% on 50,000, what is that? 50,000 times 8.5% times 25 cents. So about $1,000. So if CRO stayed around $1,000, if CRO stayed around 25 cents, it would take what, 50 years to recover your investment, right? Like that's crazy. So if it was at $1, if it was worth $1, 52,000, let's just say $50,000 worth of CRO at $1 times 8.5% is 4,250. So 50,000 divided by 4,250 still takes 11.7 years to recoup your investment. 11 years. And again, this card has 100% off Netflix, Spotify, Amazon. Those are consumer purchases. So it's not something that I'm just out here recommending. It's cool. It's a fun card. It's super cool. Rose gold, whatever, all that good stuff. Only reason why I did it was I was using dollars that I was saving. I was using money that I was going to spend anyways. And I just said, let me just put it over here in crypto. This is back in 2020, 2021 when crypto started taking off. And crypto still has a long way to grow. Obviously, it's a brand new asset class. It's going to take years and years and years for an entire generation to adopt that currency. Okay? And there's people today that are like, I don't believe in anything intangible, right? And it's like, well, I don't know, man. I'm a man of faith, so my whole life is predicated on intangible things that I cannot see, smell, touch, feel. So for me, when it comes to the crypto space, it's a no-brainer because of the efficiency of what digital currencies will bring to the world over time. It's a matter of efficiency. And all I'm doing with my money is increasing the velocity of money according to the times that I am living in, according to the rules of the game that I'm living in, according to the jurisdiction of which I am operating in the United States. And with that, that concludes my lesson. Let's see if I see any questions. Don't see a whole lot of questions. That's cool. Let's see. I'd like to know, for the folks not comfortable with crypto, what other options are available. I think it's very cool what you did. Awesome. Yeah, this is just me sharing my experience, what I'm doing. This doesn't mean let me go do what Denzel does because it works for him. What works for me may not work for you. Be very clear. In that whole credit card strategy, there's the whole cashback strategy, where you literally just collect cash back to reduce your cost of living even further. And there's a graduation process to that. I used to do that when I was in debt, like personal debts that I had. I have different debts, different kinds of debts today. So I'm more than willing to forego the cashback rewards because of the value increase that I get with points. I'm able to save way more money with points than getting cashback rewards. Even though that may be true for me and may be true for some of you watching, it may not be the best decision for you. You might need to start with cashback rewards. So it's totally different. But here's the thing. You want to have the accountability, the patience, the discipline, and time. Let's go through the steps. Invest in yourself. What could that look like if you're at a stage where you're like, okay, I'm ready to invest in myself? We can do coaching together. So you can go click the links below, check out my partners, resources that they have. You can take a look at my financial coaching services, jump on a consultation with me for an hour and a half, maybe longer. And let's figure out how I can best serve you, expose you to some strategies that you can comprehend and implement yourself. And then let's hold you accountable on those things. With that being said, we'll close out this evening. I don't see any other questions. So this has been fun. Thank you for your time. I'll see you tomorrow night. This whole week, I'll be going live, answering your questions, presenting topics, helping you improve your personal finances. God bless you, and we'll be talking soon. Bye now.